Episode 114. What is overlanding? Part 1. I heard a rumor that my neighbor was stealing from his job at the road construction crew. I didn't want to believe it at first, but when I got home, all the signs were there. Hello and welcome to the 10-Minute Off-Road Podcast. I'm your host, Nikki G. I'm here to inform, entertain, delight your ear holes with all things off-road for the next 10 minutes or so. Why 10 minutes? Well, that's how long I have before I have to go to work. All right, welcome to the show. I'm doing something a little different. I discovered AI. I wrote out a script for the show, had a little bit of help from AI, and then discovered that there's an AI tool to load it to make it into a podcast. And so I decided to give it a try. And I got to tell you, I'm kind of pleased with the results. I won't say it's easier because I could record and edit a show pretty damn quick and pretty damn easy, but and it took me about twice as long to make it with AI, but I think the quality is a little bit better. So I'm going to try next few episodes like this, and let me know what you think about it. Should I just go back to me rambling on because I don't think a lot of people enjoy that, or should I just go with the AI because the AI person sounds a lot more interesting than me. All right, so without further ado, I'm turning it over to my enslaved AI interns.
All right, let's get rolling. Today we're taking the deep dive off-road and into the world of overlanding.
Ooh.
Yeah, and we're not just talking about like a quick camping trip.
Mm-hmm.
This is epic journeys,
Yeah.
self-sufficiency, and really like conquering some serious terrain across continents. Even we've got a whole stack of articles, historical accounts, even some forum discussions from people who are really into this. And get this, you might be picturing, tricked out Jeeps and stuff like that. But
Right.
overlanding's roots are way more rugged and surprisingly Australian.
Yeah, it's interesting because Australia isn't just where the word overlanding comes from.
Really?
It's the birthplace of the whole concept.
Wow.
We're talking late 1800s.
Okay.
Pioneers driving cattle across huge distances, opening up the outback.
So like before 4x4s even existed, overlanding was happening.
Exactly.
Down under with herds of livestock.
It was.
That's wild. Tell me more about these like original overlanders.
So picture guys like Alfred Canning.
Okay.
He carved stock roads across hundreds of miles of harsh desert,
Oh, wow.
digging wells by hand to even make the journey possible.
That's incredible.
Talk about self-reliance, right?
Yeah.
Another legend, Len Beadell.
Okay.
He was mapping and opening up the outback in the mid-20th century,
Wow.
forging paths where there were no roads.
It's amazing how they even did that.
Yeah.
So these weren't just journeys, it sounds like.
No.
These were feats of engineering and some serious grit.
Absolutely. So early overlanding, you hit the nail on the head. It was born out of necessity.
Right.
But that spirit of it, the exploration, that self-sufficiency, tackling the unknown,
Yeah.
that's the thread that connects it to what we see today.
I see.
And that's what makes overlanding so much more than just some hobby.
Right, because it's like a mindset. It's an attitude. It's like a
way of life almost.
Yeah.
And that evolution from necessity to adventure is key.
Okay.
The first motor vehicles in the late 1800s, that changed the game.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Suddenly, those rough tracks and trails,
Mhm.
they became accessible in a whole new way.
Right.
Imagine the freedom
Yeah.
of choosing your own route,
Yeah.
going where Macs haven't even caught up yet.
Wow.
So it's that same pioneering spirit.
Right.
But today, it's blended with, modern tech and vehicles,
Yeah.
creating this whole new breed of overlander.
It's like the same DNA, but it's evolved.
Exactly.
Yeah. Okay. I gotta admit, I'm picturing myself behind the wheel already.
It's easy to get caught up in it.
Oh, yeah.
Let's get practical.
Yeah.
Our listeners are probably at all different levels here.
Right.
Some total newbies, some are seasoned pros.
Yeah.
So let's break down some of those essential items that every overlander needs.
Okay.
But with a deep dive twist, of course.
Right. I love it.
You could just hand somebody a list of gear.
Sure.
But understanding why each item is essential is key.
Okay.
Especially you're aiming for that self-sufficiency we keep talking about.
Right. Like you can't just like rely on, AAA to come get you.
Yeah, you're on your own out there.
Let's start with the most obvious, the vehicle.
Okay.
I bet some folks think you need just like a decked out, top of the line 4x4.
Oh, it's easy to get caught up in that,
Yeah.
the tricked out rigs you see online.
Right.
But remember those early pioneers?
Yeah.
Their vehicles were about reliability.
Yeah.
Pure and simple.
Right.
let me get this way. You're going off the grid, so your vehicle isn't just transportation.
Right.
It's your lifeline.
I see.
It's got to be tough enough to handle whatever terrain you throw at it.
Right.
And more importantly, fixable if something goes wrong.
Okay, so it's really about function over flashiness.
Exactly.
Just like those old cattle trucks.
Exactly.
Makes sense. But what about finding your way once you're out there? I mean, these days everyone's glued to their GPS.
Well, and GPS is amazing, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But true self-sufficiency means being able to navigate even if technology fails.
Oh.
And this is where those OG overlanders, they really shine.
Yeah.
They relied on maps and compasses,
Wow.
skills that are almost like a lost art today.
So what's so special about navigating the old school way?
Yeah.
Isn't GPS more accurate and easier?
Well, it's not just about finding your way.
Okay.
It's about connecting with the landscape on a deeper level.
Okay.
When you read a map, you're not just following a line.
Right.
You're understanding the terrain,
Oh, I see.
the contours, the landmarks.
Okay.
It forces you to pay attention, become a part of the environment rather than just passing through it.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a perspective I hadn't considered. It's like the difference between reading a book and watching a movie.
Exactly.
Yeah, you engage differently.
And there's a satisfaction that comes from plotting your course,
Oh, yeah.
taking bearings, and relying on your own skills to reach your destination.
All right, you've convinced me. Maps and compass are making it onto my overlanding list.
Good.
But let's move on to something even more essential. Staying hydrated.
Yes, water is non-negotiable, of course.
Right.
But think about this.
Okay.
Those early overlanders, they couldn't just swing by a convenience store for a bottle of water.
Right.
They had to find reliable sources
Yeah.
and make sure the water was safe to drink,
Uh-huh.
especially in harsh conditions like the outback.
Oh, yeah, it's not just about, like, packing enough water then. It's about purification, too.
Exactly.
I'm guessing those purification tablets are a must-have.
Absolutely. You need to be able to make any water source safe to drink,
Wow.
no matter where you are.
So it's that same level of preparedness that those pioneers had to have to even survive.
Exactly. In incredibly challenging environments.
But all this exploring has got to work up an appetite.
It does.
What about food? I'm picturing, like those classic campfire meals.
Campfire cooking is definitely part of the experience.
Yeah.
But remember, you're often days away from civilization.
Oh, right.
So non-perishable food is key.
Okay.
Canned goods, dried fruits, nuts,
Uh-huh.
things that can withstand bumps in the road and won't spoil easily.
It makes you wonder what those early overlanders ate on those long cattle drives.
Yeah.
I doubt they had, fancy coolers full of fresh ingredients.
No, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Imagine weeks or even months on the trail.
Wow.
Their food had to be simple, durable,
Yeah.
and calorie-packed.
Right.
It's a fascinating glimpse into the resourcefulness of those early overlanders.
Okay, I'm officially adding research pioneer food to my to-do list.
I'll love it.
Now, after a long day of driving and exploring,
Yeah.
you got to get some rest.
You do.
What about sleeping arrangements?
This is where comfort meets practicality.
Okay.
You'll need a good sleeping bag and a system that works for you.
Okay.
That it's a tent,
Yeah.
a rooftop tent,
Right.
or even sleeping under the stars.
Oh, wow.
But think about this. When you're out in the outback, miles from any light pollution,
Yeah.
you get the most incredible view of the night sky.
Oh, wow. I bet those pioneers had some epic stargazing sessions.
Oh, yeah.
Suddenly, my overlanding trip is sounding less about rugged adventure and more like a spa retreat for the soul.
Well, it's a blend of both.
Yeah.
But you're right. There's something magical about being in nature,
Yeah.
disconnected from the world, able to appreciate those simple wonders.
Yeah.
And it's part of that overlanding mindset.
Okay, so let's dive into that. What exactly is the overlanding mindset?
Yeah.
What makes someone a true overlander beyond the gear checklist?
It's about embracing a certain set of values,
Okay.
freedom to explore, self-reliance to handle challenges,
Mm-hmm.
and a deep respect for the environment you're traveling through.
Right.
Think back to those early pioneers.
Yeah.
They embodied those values out of necessity.
Right.
Today, it's a conscious choice.
So it's about carrying that spirit forward,
Exactly.
not just mimicking what they did.
It's about taking responsibility for yourself, your impact, and being a steward of the land you're on.
I like that.
It's about understanding that overlanding is about the experience,
Mm-hmm.
the journey itself,
Right.
not just reaching a destination.
All right, thanks for tuning in. Let me know what you think of the new format. I'm really dying to hear if people like it or not. Listen in next time for part 2 of the podcast of What is Overlanding. And until next time, this is Nikki G saying wheel what you got and be happy.